My name is Daria Schneider. I'm the head coach of men and women's fencing, and this is my first season at Harvard. I was playing pretty much every sport I could play as a child. When I was 5, I knew I wanted to be an athlete, and fencing was the first sport where I had a really good coach. I had a coach who was the first woman to be internationally rated as a referee, and she was young and looking to start her own club and make a name for herself, and women coaches are almost unheard of in fencing even now, but back then it was really unusual, and we just kind of gravitated towards each other because she wanted to be a serious high-level coach and I wanted to be an athlete, and so that's kind of how I got started and haven't looked back. I did fence in college. I fenced at Columbia, I went to Columbia because they have one of the strongest fencing programs in the country. I absolutely loved fencing in college. I was also on the national team while I was in college, so I was balancing both collegiate fencing with international travel and national travel for competition. And I think that's one of the things that made Columbia so strong, was people went there to be college athletes, but also to continue to compete nationally, internationally, and make Olympic teams. And it's another thing that I think a few people have done that here at Harvard, but as a coach, I'd really like to bring that more to the identity of the team as a place where you can not only compete for world teams while you're in college, but get better throughout your 4 years and go on to compete for world teams when you graduate. So I would say that I have a very individual approach. I think it's really important to understand the person that you're working with. If you don't really know each athlete as an individual, you're not doing your job as a coach, and you also aren't really going to be able to serve them, because the types of problems they're going to come to you with, the challenges that they're facing as they grow and improve, are going to be very specific to them. Another part that I don't think is enough a part of our sport yet in college is innovating to gain an advantage. Fencing has a long history of being taught almost like teaching ballet, all the positions, all the techniques, and then just unleashing the athlete onto the fencing strip to try and perform them. But fencing is a battle, and there's so much chaos in all of that, and so if you don't also teach the person how to deal with that chaos and study how those techniques actually end up playing out in the match, then I don't know that that's going to be as successful. I was coaching at a high school when I was in college, and then when I graduated, they were looking for an assistant coach at Columbia, so I transitioned from coaching in high school to coaching at Columbia, and after a year, we actually went through a coaching transition there, and I had a new head coach as a boss and worked for him for 3 years, but that was really to supplement my own training. And then when I took a break from that to train full-time, thinking about my experiences, I realized how much I'd enjoyed coaching college fencing, how much I enjoyed being a part of student athletes' lives in that time in their lives where they're changing a lot and making really big decisions about what they're going to do with their lives, and also guiding them in fencing during that time. So I applied for a head coaching job at Cornell just because it was open and I needed to get my resume together, and here I am, just still college coaching. So it wasn't really a decision, but sometimes when you're kind of called to do something, it's the right thing for you to be doing. So.